So, there was an accident in the last episode. Military veteran, test pilot, and world-renowned astronaut Jebediah Kerman livo-brigged into a mountain on his return from an orbital velocity. Investigation has shown that this was due to unforeseen issues acting upon his parachutes. So, in untold respect and honor, one of our missions now is to fly out to the projected landing zone of where Jeb would have been and plant a flag in his name. Today we are mostly, however, focusing on Munshot, which is, we are trying to sort of make a figure 8 around the moon. And for that I have prepared a rocket, because this thing takes a long while. So basically we've got a bunch of solid rockets down here, then 4 big solid rockets which I managed to unlock. Then we've got our main rocket, which is also 2-stage, and we've got a bunch of batteries, because I finally managed to unlock those with what we did manage to recover from Jeb. So then, this is what's left, and it's what should be the thing that falls back into the atmosphere, hopefully more safely than the last time, because I've got more parachutes and I know not to use time acceleration. Did I send the action groups for this? I don't know if I did. Blue materials, apparently. Okay, but yeah, this also uses the Science Junior, which is our new science part, so hopefully we'll get quite a bit more science out of it. So let's launch. I'm using OBS for this instead of Fraps, because for some reason Fraps is crashing every... well, Kerbal Space Program is crashing every single time You son of a... And we're back. So, yeah, turns out Jeb survived. We had words. I think he understands most of them. And it turns out that he bailed out halfway through his re-entry period and deployed a parachute, which I didn't know EVA suits had. There was some terse words exchanged, but Jeb and I are now friends again, and we can begin this mission before I try and kill him again. Okay, so SAS on, fuel standard, good. We don't have RCS yet, throttle up, not that it matters for the solid rockets, and launch. Spinning a bit, but that's okay for now, because we can ride that once we get out of the atmosphere. And mark. In the atmosphere quite rapidly, actually. Okay, and our 4 remaining solid rockets will be cutting out soon. Let's see if we can pull her over a bit. Okay. Let's straighten up a bit, or dig it out, so as the case may be. Okay, now there's two liquid rockets in here, so we can actually control the first there. Although we don't actually have all that much liquid fuel, so I need to be a little bit more careful. And how are we doing on our apoapsis? Our apoapsis is perfectly good. Okay, not quite as marked as I might like, but oh well. Let's stretch that out into an orbit. We don't need a particularly high orbit. In fact, it's better if we don't spend the fuel getting to a particularly high orbit. That should do. And we need to be pointing that way, which isn't very easy because we still don't have any form of SAS module. It's all coming from the command mod, from the command pod. Because that's full, I could put over command. I could just put over command pods on this thing. Okay, time for burning is now actually, but it looks like that. It's over a minute. Oh boy, that is a lot of force. Okay, just while I'm here. And I do like it. It's kind of gurgling, I think is the phrase. It's from the decouplers, the radial decouplers from where the solid rockets have been attached. It just leaves behind this nub on the ships. Okay, how are we doing? Not bad. I think we will end up being about half and half, which is what you really want to be doing. Oh, and we have to stage, so bye-bye. Okay, now I was thinking we might run out of fuel before we do this, but what we're aiming for with the moon, with the figure 8, is called a free return trajectory. And that means that we get pulled around the moon at a fairly high altitude, and we are then thrown back by the moon's gravity. Ooh, that needs to go up quite a bit. By the moon's gravity into a return trajectory that takes us right past Kerbin. Come on, come on, come on. That needs to get out of the atmosphere. I really need that to be out of the atmosphere. I think I've wonkified this orbit a bit by burning so early. 60, let's go for 65. There we go. That's an extremely low orbit, but we'll take it. Okay, now what we need to do now is find the moon. Let's see, the moon is around there, so we probably will be aiming around here for this burn. Okay, there we go, that was our encounter. And that is taking us out of the out of the system there, so that's what we want there. Can I make it any smaller? I can, but at the expense of making a much longer return. Okay. Okay, so that is a moon encounter in 8 hours, exiting 10. That's 2 hours, but we're over the moon's surface, so we'll take that. And that is an 850 meters per second burn, estimating 20 seconds. We shall happily take that. That is quite lovely. Yep, shift to orbital view. Oh, Kerbin looks lovely tonight. Okay, so we have 18 minutes before we hit that place, so let's speed up time just a bit. Seconds. Okay, and it's estimating a 20-second burn, so we'll go for 10 seconds in. Okay, and our fuel is looking good for the time being. Okay. Why do we still have some fuel? Oh, no we don't. Okay, so, we're out of fuel. Perhaps more importantly, we have no return trajectory. We didn't manage to get to the moon. Okay, so Jeb, what are we going to do for you? Because we have no RCS either. And I actually can't recover this vessel. Great! So some would say vindictively, I have stranded Jeb in space, so maybe one of our later missions will be to rescue him. Or I could revert. Oh, yeah, ship is throttled up. Reverting would be an idea, wouldn't it? You smug little thing. Now, let's try not to revert. That's what I kind of want to go on for a slightly more realistic kind of experience with space here. So let's try to avoid reverting as much as we can. So I think we need to be beginning our gravity turn earlier to make that circularization burn easier. So, Bill, you're next on the chopping block, as it were. Okay, so there we are. RCS on, thrust up, and stage. We're spinning quite a lot more this time. The spin. Nope, in fact, if anything, I seem to be increasing it. This could go badly. Oh, there we go, magically stabilize. Let me pull this over into our gravity turn. A bit more aggressive about it as well. What does our apoapsis look like right now? Whew. Wow, we're already pretty much there. That is still climbing, that's good. Okay. And the trouble with doing a more aggressive gravity turn like this, that we're pretty much pointing horizontally, is that it has the potential to lower our apoapsis, which makes it, again, a bit hard to actually get in orbit. But it is giving us this much more smooth trajectory, which makes getting our circularization burn quite a bit cheaper. Be very efficient. This is not generally how I like to plan missions. This is basically the school of I'm only going to take absolutely what I need to get to my destination kind of thing. Which works fine, if you happen to have some issues with your funding, which we don't. Okay, that is our target then, so that's another 870 or so. And where is my target for that? There it is, conveniently right at retrograde. Okay, that's a 22-second burn. That is 16 minutes away. Let's just right this thing a bit, so we're not at an angle. How flat is our orbit this time? Not much nice. Much nice, very space. Okay, so with that, we shall time accelerate for 15 minutes. I have to get onto the other side of the planet. Now, this is actually the main method that they used for getting the Apollo to the moon. Of course, the Apollo system had a lot of problems. If you miscalculated the burn on the opponent Apollo craft, you pretty much were stuck. But it had the advantages that it saves a lot of money on fuel, and that if you happen to have a problem, you know you're going to come home. Because the moon's gravity will do you a favor on it. Okay, so 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and under. Okay, so let's get right around, and actually we're upside down. The things you don't really realize until you're in space. Okay, so that's where we want to be pointed. Level that out a bit before my shoes come into play. Okay, for 22 seconds, we want at least that to be 11 then, which is much earlier. Well, not much earlier before the burn. So we want to be in about 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, burn. Okay, fuel is higher than last time we did this. Halfway through our delta V already. Good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Balls, I think we went a little on the too far. Okay, we need to hit our retrograde very soon, or we're going to have another person out in deep space. Okay. Okay, and let's burn it just slightly. Come on. Bingo, there we go. Stop there. Okay, that's going to make our return a little trickier. Because we're still going to be 102 above there, so this will be interesting. But we have Munshot, which is the important thing, so with that we can head over and beam some science from the moon. So let's move ahead to that. Now the blue here is our existing trajectory. The purple is what our trajectory becomes after we leave, so our periapsis after leaving the moon is going to be 102,000 meters. And as it changes, you can see that our original trajectories are racing behind us. Okay, let's switch to the camera view for this. So, bye Kerbin! And hello Moon. Let's just take a quick look at our trajectory. So we're going to be slingshotting directly around, and we're going to have about 2 hours or so in orbit of the moon. Not very long. We definitely can't get actual orbit around it, but pretty nice nonetheless. So yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't messed up with that trajectory. Oh dear. We'll have to try something. We'll have to see if we can get it down whilst we're in orbit, but the liquid fuel burns a lot faster than our oxidizer, so we're not going to have the time for that. So, hello Moon. Okay, 12,000 meters, well 12,000 K, so that's actually quite a bit more than meters, but we should be entering orbit of the moon soon enough. Yep, there she is. That's where she'll be when our encounter begins. That's where she'll be when our escape begins. Yep, there she is. So yeah, it's actually fairly cheap to get from Kerbin orbit to the moon's orbit. It's about 800 or 900 or so delta V, which makes the Apollo I'm building in New Sunrise kind of excessive, but the Apollo is meant to go from any planet to any planet, so it needs actually more like 3,000, which I think is the biggest number that you need to get between the two, between two planetoids, which is more or less a Gilly, I think, from Duna. Okay, look at you swinging into view. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna fly around the back of the moon here. Let's just speed up a little bit so we can get to our encounter. 5 minutes. 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds. And our calculations recalculate for the moon. Perfect. Okay, so with that encounter, we can now begin taking science samples. So let's take a crew report. You look down at the cold grey surface. It looks really beat up with craters. Okay, we'll keep that. A mystery goo. The goo seems to be less dense here. Okay, and materials pay. The high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. It looks like it'll be fun to paint the rocket with this. Well, we're getting 75 from that, which is fantastic, but we'll only keep 20% of that if we transmit it. And the more often you do the same experiment, the more often it ends up not turning out well for you, so we'll keep that as is. And we'll have Bill do an EVA report. Okay, so actually let's get a little bit away from the thing so he doesn't just see. I should probably crap the ladder or something. Okay, and I just need to get steady in. Okay. Recorded your observations about the situation. Oh, that's a bit boring. Oh, 24%, and we'll keep 50 of that if we actually transmit it. But the main point of having the transmitter percentage be lower than 100 is to encourage you to bring your guys back alive. Okay, board again. Okay, data stored. Okay, so yeah, we have basically 0 fuel, so let's see if we can plan an action to get us home a bit more. that is not actually doing anything to our to our orbit, so I need to come over here, I think. Okay, so 102, I want to bring that down to at least a 70. 1 second burn, I don't know if we can actually do that. Ooh, that's actually not helping me at all to see. I'm not actually getting a readout on what that is, so we'll have to wait until we exit the moon's gravity. Because our apoapsis and periapsis are tied up here. Okay, so let's just fast forward through that. Our motion now is relative to the moon, so you'll see this this orbit is going to start shifting over, and we will gradually hit our exit point as we fall back behind it. Yep, there we go. We are being towed by the moon there. Okay, now our periapsis is over there. So, goodbye moon. Miss you. I'll send a big space cruiser over to you later. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to figure out a way to get this thing to land. Or at least to aero brake. Okay, that's a 58. A 58 will be aero braking, I think. Okay, well, I'll put the marker there, and then we'll see if and how I can actually manage to get this thing to burn properly. How long, I don't know. I'll keep it on the low, and we'll see how long that lasts. Okay, so that's our target. And with that, we shall time accelerate and watch the moon fly away. Bye, moon. See you in a bit. Okay. 1 hour. Less than an hour. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds. Okay. So let's begin our burn, and I'll get rid of this now, so I can just keep an eye on that. Okay, so beginning burn, for however long we can maintain it. Which is, I think, just enough to get us into aero braking. So we should now... Oh yeah, we can't do that one fold up, of course. Okay, so now let's head on over. This is going to take a while, because we're quite some distance away. Hi, Jeb. You're not getting your Christmas bonus this year. Okay, yeah, still an hour. It takes a couple of hours at usual velocities to get between Kerbin and the moon. And same with Earth and the moon. Right, the Apollo 13 flight took me days. Oh yes, let's reset this materials bay. Oh, I can't because we're frowned up. Okay. Okay. Review the data. Yeah, we definitely want to be keeping that. Do I keep that if I reset it? I don't know, but 75 will be pretty handy to have anyway, so we'll just stay there. Okay. Now, if I've done this right, we'll be coming in through the atmosphere. Okay, so the time acceleration is coming down. Now, next question. Yeah, our apoapsis is coming down, so we're aero braking right now. Not very much, but we are. Okay. Let's see how far into the atmosphere we get. Okay, so 55 is our lowest point. 56, 55, and we're climbing up out of the atmosphere again. But that is bringing our apoapsis down, so a few hundred more orbits, and we'll actually start having a re-entry. Fun to know. Okay, so our apoapsis is now inside of the atmosphere, so we can expect to be aerobraking 100% throughout our orbit, which means that we are rapidly coming in for a landing. Which means we cut off the damn time acceleration so that nobody dies again. Okay, and now we just more or less have to wait for our re-entry effects. And stage. Goodbye, rocket. You served us well. Okay, there goes the periapsis. So we should be coming out of orbital camera very soon. And now this hour-and-a-half long filming session will end. There we go. We are out of orbital camera into chase, which means we are no longer at an altitude where we can actually sustain anything resembling an orbit. So let's put some drag onto this. Which isn't going to help us too much because the parachutes don't turn up. Now there's a screenshot to have, isn't it? Okay. Perhaps it's still dropping. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to land as yet. We should see it very soon. Okay, 6, 5, 4. That is descending into the ocean, so we're probably going to meet land. Fortunately, we passed over KSC, so I'll be seeing that for a while. Okay, and there goes our periapsis. And our parachutes still haven't materialized, but oh well. Let's see if I can at least accelerate into the re-entry effects. A nice big star over there. I wonder what that is. Okay, there's our re-entry effects. Let's try and angle this so that we fall in much like a bullet. Because a bullet will take him, because falling in like a comet and such will cause us to lose the vast majority of our orbital speed, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so you can see we're now down to surface because we're out of orbit, so our parachutes have turned up. At last. Okay, come on. Little, stay where I want you to stay, please. Thank you. There we go. Okay, re-entry is burning off. And looks like our velocity is killing out quite nicely, so we're going to land right around here. Okay. And of course our opened parachutes are providing us with a bit more drag, and eventually once we hit about 500 meters or so, they will actually deploy. I'm not quite sure why they both picked 500. Seems like they should at least have some variety there, but oh well. And we can actually tell how much our velocity is horizontal based on the positioning of these parachutes. So they're very slowly going to 12 o'clock. And our velocity is already under 130. And we've still got another 4,000 meters to go, so that's going to drop quite nicely, especially once these parachutes open. So I think we have a safe return from a brief trip past the moon. And we'll be able to recover and see exactly how much science we get from this and what we can buy with it. Which I will close up this episode with, because this has taken 2 hours to do. Okay, that's actually coming in a lot sooner than I thought it would. But we're less than 5 meters per second, so we're going to survive this quite happily. There we go. Perfect. So, Bill, if you'd like to hop out, yeah, you can put your lights on. I don't think you can actually climb back into this thing, so, hope you've enjoyed it. So, Bill, you have stolen a position from Jebediah, and you get to be our first dude to a return from the moon. So I hope you're happy about that. There we go. Okay, so site name FRT free return trajectory, moon to landing. So on this spot, Bill Kerman usurped Jebediah Kerman's position as the world's farthest man. Passing briefly behind the moon. Okay, and with that, let us get a new crew, an EVA report. Kerman's Highlands. Okay. Not much scientific value, but we'll keep it just for funsies. And with that, we shall recover vessel. So how much have we gotten from that then? 0.5 science. Oh, we're on EVA, so I don't think it grabbed the rest of it. Ships. FRT. Okay, recover that. There we go. There's all of our science. 152 science gathered. Phew. Okay, that's fantastic. 173 science. Now let's see what we can grab with that then. And then we'll call it a day. Or 8, as the case may be. Okay, so over on the electrics, we can get our first solar panel as well as the lights. We can get a temperature gauge, we can get some landing gear. We can get some support struts. We can get our first probe core and some more SAS power. Or we can get some new engines. Probably can't get more than one of each, but let's grab our first probe core, because that's going to be hugely important later. Or we can go into aerodynamics and get our first jet engine. That would be good. We can get some more stabilizers, another probe core. I kind of want to get the solar panels, that's going to be useful later. What do we have here? Precision engineering. There's a few bunch of stuff there, mostly for small things. Hello, inline radiators. I didn't recognize those, that's interesting. And advanced exploration, barometer, and oh, so that's when we finally invent ladders, apparently. Also requires space exploration. Oh, there we go. So that. Oh, that's where we get the first ladder. Pegasus 1. Well, let's see. Let's grab the struts, because we keep wobbling around all over the place. And that'll be our next thing, because we only have the 38 left. But look how far we've managed to advance after that one excursion around the moon. Totally the one excursion. So, with that triumphant success, I shall catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favourite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now, catch you later.